Frank Hartman was the third attorney that I searched on the internet for a good lawyer, accident lawyer, and when I called Mr. Frank Hartman and spoke to him, I felt very comfortable for him coming and representing me and helping me with my case and everything. He came and met me and we spoke for a good 30-45 minutes, and I knew that Frank Hartman was the person to represent me. As soon as we got done talking, I said, let me sign the papers. I wouldn't feel more comfortable with anybody else except for Frank Hartman to represent me. My name's Eslim Cindy Unyol, and I reside in Goose Creek, South Carolina. I was a farm tech in CVS Pharmacy, and I also buy and sell cars for the car auctions upstate South Carolina. I was on my way to a convention and at 9 o'clock at night, and I was 2 minutes away from my house, and I made a left and was driving next to the median when a car from the median came into my lane and hit me head on. And I don't really remember too much of it, but my car was spinning and another car in the opposite lane hit me in the back, and that's when my car stopped. And that's all pretty much what I remember. I was in a 2009 Scion TC. I don't know what the car that hit me was, but apparently she was intoxicated driving, so that's why she wasn't paying attention. She said she was trying to make a turn, but she was driving down the median. It was pretty bad. It did knock me out, and I remember I jumped through the passenger side and I was laying on the floor, and a couple stopped and was asking me if I'm okay. They called the police officers, and what I remember was the next step of that was they were telling me just to calm down, keep breathing. They put me in a neck brace, and I was in the ambulance, and they cut off my clothes and strapped me down, and I was on my way to the hospital. They said that I was screaming like crazy, saying, "Why did they hit me? Why did they hit me?" My injuries were, I couldn't move my neck. I couldn't move anything. My whole back was completely bruised inside. My chest was completely bruised inside. I had a head injury where I couldn't open up my eyes. I couldn't see any kind of daylight or anything. And I guess I was too scared, it hit me mentally inside, that I was too scared to get in a car. I couldn't be in a car for 2 weeks, I believe. So we had to end up finding a chiropractor and a doctor that was close by to my aunt's house, so she could practically just keep me in the car for just a minute. So I don't really remember. It was severe pain. I cried every day, cried every night. In the middle of the night, I would wake up and had to be rushed to the emergency room for them to give me some kind of pain medication to relieve some of the pain. But it was bad. I was scared out of my mind. I don't like needles. I don't like doctors, and I was there alone because I couldn't get in contact with anybody because my phone was kind of broken. So, and I couldn't lift my head up to see what I was dialing and everything. And my mom lives all the way in Mount Pleasant, and I was in North Charleston, and she's old, so she couldn't come out there, and everybody else wasn't there. So I had a friend finally come over there and hold my hand, but it was terrifying. I thought I was gonna die. I called a couple lawyers' offices 2 days after, I believe, and none of them didn't seem interested in me. They just seemed like they were interested in just the money and just talking about money and this and that, and I didn't feel like they really cared about me as a client, as a person. So when I got on the phone with him, he actually came to my house and spoke with me. He was very sympathetic and very caring, and it seemed like he wasn't just interested in the lawyer part, he was more interested in my well-being. And he found the doctors for me, and he struggled with me to help me and everything. I didn't have to drive to his office. He came and met me wherever I was, and he broke down all the information for me and made me feel comfortable, very comfortable, like I was speaking to a family member. I actually talked to a couple people, a family friend of ours that my mom knows he's a lawyer, but I didn't feel like he should represent me, so my aunt was helping me go through the phone book and online. No other lawyers said that they would come meet me. They were just talking about more money and how much they're going to get and how much I'm going to get, and I just didn't feel comfortable with other lawyers. No other lawyer offered to send an investigator at all. Yes, I did feel like Frank Hartman really did care about me as a person, not just as a client. Well, after I signed papers with Mr. Hartman, he came to my doctor's appointments and made sure that I was comfortable with the doctors that I was at. He called and checked up on me every day almost to see how I'm doing, if I'm comfortable with my doctors, if I'm comfortable with this or that. And we did paperwork that day that he met me. And after the doctor's office, he said, "Am I comfortable with this doctor's office?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." And he just made sure that I was okay every day and just called and checked up on me. No, I did not have to go to court. They gave us an offer, and I wasn't very comfortable with the offer, so he actually called all on my medical bills, got my medical bills dropped, and he talked to the insurance companies and made sure that they understood that what I went through was not something that anybody should ever go through. And he settled, or he made them see our point of view and what I went through, and they ended up offering more to the case, and that's when I felt comfortable about settling. But he made sure that I was comfortable with settling for that amount. After settling with all the insurance companies and the medical bills, we settled for $39,000. I was very happy with it. I thought that it was fair. I was very satisfied after the settlement, and I thought that I could move on now and put this behind me and just get back to my life. I would recommend Frank Hartman to anybody. I had a friend that got in a car accident a couple months back, and he said, "Do you have any recommendations?" And I definitely, without any hesitation, said, "Call Mr. Frank Hartman." Frank Hartman is trustworthy, he's loyal, and he's very compassionate about the person. I would consider him the best. I would consider Frank Hartman the best out of any lawyer that I've spoken to. Overall, he's just, if I ever got in any kind of accident ever again, I wouldn't even hesitate but calling him. I would have to call him. I've never had anybody make me feel like a family member, like a person, whenever it's their job to, represent them. My mom and dad are very skeptical of people, but they said that you didn't make a bad decision by choosing him. I actually have his business cards at my mom's shop, and I recommend him to everybody. My mom's customer was talking about an accident that she was in, and I said, "Here's his card, call him. You won't be dissatisfied with him." Not only did I find a very good lawyer, I found a very good friend, somebody that has advice about legal things that I need to know. I became close to him as a person in my life that I wouldn't want to get rid of.